Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Man, it's exciting to be here.
It is.
How are you doing, Peter?
I'm doing really good.
Awesome. My name's Howard Pinsky, Senior XD Evangelist here at Adobe, joined today by the one and only Peter Deltondo.
You got it.
I always mess that up. I've been messing it up all morning. We have a huge week packed for you. Kicking off UI and UX week with Peter. We've also got Evan. We've got, Paco's bringing up the schedule here. We've got Evan coming in at 11 o'clock with Gus Bott, who's just over there. And we've got Michael coming in at 1 o'clock back with me. We're gonna be designing some amazing things. Well, I'm not designing anything. These guys are gonna be designing some great stuff. And what are you gonna be designing today?
So today we're going to be designing a mobile app for YouTuber Rosanna Pansino.
Nice.
She hosts a show called Nerdy Nummies, and it's a baking show, and my kids just absolutely love it, adore her. You'll see a little clip later. I mean, they can recite the whole script of the shows, and they know the recipes, and it's a fun thing that we get to do together as a family. So.
Sweet, I love that. I love family-friendly apps and content. My daughter's 2, and she's just getting into some of that stuff.
Yeah,
So
you're going to
it's
get
really
hooked
cool.
after this.
Yeah, totally. And welcome to everyone in the chat. We've got Omar, we got Jordan, Matthias, Paul. We got a lot of people in here. Definitely make sure to ask questions if you have them for Peter, if you have some for me, anything, just let us know. And we also have some cool stuff coming up. In about 30 minutes, we have Chat and Win. You'll see some fireworks behind us, and you have a chance to win 100 stickers from Sticker Mule, which is awesome. I've ordered some stickers over there. Does Peter have some on his computer? He does.
Yeah.
He has a sticker from Sticker Mule, which is great. So in about 30 minutes, you'll see those fireworks, and all you have to do is just chat, which is great. We also have a daily challenge for today. And if I hop over to my screen, and if you're on Behance, behance.net/live, we have a challenge tab at the top right. And if you click on that, you have more details on today's challenge. And all you have to do today is design a homepage or a landing screen for your personal portfolio. And you can do that with Adobe XD. And when you submit it, go to that WooBox link right here on the challenge tab, and we're gonna review them about 30 minutes before the end of this session.
Awesome.
And we're gonna rip you to shreds. No, we'll be nice. But yeah, definitely do that. So if you're watching and you wanna design along with us, it's gonna be a fun day.
Yeah.
You excited?
I'm super. I was at Max last week. Now I'm here. Like, I'm just getting
have you recovered yet?
Adobe fill. Sort of.
No, I haven't. I have not recovered.
My wife's like, you need to get a lot of sleep. You're away from the little ones, and you need to rest up. And there's like this weird thing that without crying children at night, you don't sleep.
That's true.
So I've been getting less sleep than I have at home. It's been interesting.
You need more crying children in your
Yeah,
life.
I was joking. I need to record them and just play it in the background as I sleep at night.
It's like white noise.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's get going.
Awesome. All right, cool. Well, let's jump over here. So, as I mentioned, let me introduce you guys to Rosanna Pansino first. So, as I mentioned, she's got an awesome YouTube channel, and one of the things I like about her, especially as a dad, is it's a very wholesome channel. I don't have to worry about any of the content that's on the page. And you know, my oldest daughter, who's a little over 3 now, really. It's important to have those good role models, and I feel like Ro is a good role model. So I'm happy about that, and it's a fun thing because it's creating a family, tradition or whatnot. She loves baking with my wife and with me, and so we've made a lot of these recipes together. We've actually had to limit. She gets like a calendar count of how many videos she gets to watch a day. Otherwise, like we go a little nutty. But she's also just this hustler. She's got a couple of baking books. She's got 10 million subscribers on YouTube, and she does vlogs, kind of lifestyle stuff, and she does this show called Nerdy Nummies. And with that, she creates cakes, cupcakes, cookies, and treats for all kinds of pop culture stuff. So you'll see and hear right now a lot of Halloween stuff or the Avengers movie or different things like that. And it's just really fun to follow along, and it's just great.
And it makes you so hungry.
It does. It's dangerous at my house quite often.
I'm kind of happy I don't know how to cook very well, because then I would be making all these things and it would be terrible.
I would be a lot leaner if my wife didn't like to cook.
It's so true.
So I wanted to show you guys just a couple of images here. You know, this is one of the cakes that we've made as a family. This is the fossil cake, and I know I've got an image here. I think it's this one. of my daughter and I working on it. My fossils are a little bit cleaner than hers, but you know, we got to go through and like pipe these, and it's created this love. My kids, I've got this little
And they have
kitchen.
a little mini kitchen.
Yeah,
That's
and this
so
is
cute.
behind my desk, so they'll come and hang out with me at home, and they'll just play in there, and they love it. And they do all this stuff. She's got a Finding Nemo cake, and she makes this with my wife out of Play-Doh. And then lastly, for her birthday, she had to make the unicorn
Of
cake.
course.
And so my wife and I made one, and then we let her make one, and she was so proud of this cake. It
turned out great.
It was fantastic. And so real quick, I've got a couple of quick things I want to show you guys. And then Paco, for the audio, we can put that over here. And so this is just some videos.
These?
You piping flowers?
I am.
That a girl? Are you doing it like Rosanna Pansino does it?
Yeah.
Nice job.
And then I'll just show one more, but I love this because, again, she's so excited about this, and she follows along really, really well. And so you'll hear her go through it, and it's awesome.
One, they're my sister's favorite animal. Two, they're magical. Three, they make everything better. A unicorn frappuccino, better. A unicorn cookie, better. A unicorn headband, better. So today we're going to be making a magical unicorn cake. Let's get started. The recipe that we're making today is a funfetti cake from scratch.
Let me skip ahead just a little bit.
One stick of
So she knows where everything is, and she follows along, just like how Ro points to things. And
Kids take in, they just soak in all this information. I don't know how, my daughter, not even 2 yet, and she just like, she watches her little iPad sometimes, watches TV, and she just knows exactly what's coming up.
Right.
It's amazing.
it's awesome. So again, this is just something that I'm really excited about because my kids love this. And so let's chat a little bit about what we're doing. So I went over to her website and took a look at a lot of the content that she has, and I've boiled it down to these points here. So today, let's make this a little bit bigger so we can all see it. Turn the audio back off. So what is it we're going to be making and why? So our problem is I want to create a unified native app experience for fans and followers of Rosanna Pansino to stay up on the latest news, articles, recipes, and YouTube videos, as well as purchase her products, because that's part of her business.
Of course.
And I think it'd be really interesting too that maybe later when we get into the settings, we do stuff like, I only want to be alerted about videos or only about new recipes, and we can start, to separate some of that out.
It's an interesting point because, with YouTube, I don't know how closely you've been following YouTube and their mobile app and their website, but subscriptions are very difficult to get your hands on
Yeah.
these days. They have this algorithm that only sends it out to certain people. So being able to have an app that you control what
Right.
you see, and you don't have to worry about an algorithm controlling that.
Yep.
It's kind of interesting.
And I know YouTubers have had issues with YouTube recently too, of a whole lot of different things. And so, I think it's smart to kind of diversify out a little bit.
Absolutely.
And give them the control. So next, our goal and solution is to also expand audience and reach and improve engagement. We want to make it easy for the users to get the info they want or that they need,
Yep.
and be able to create her recipes via the app. So some of the features that I want to include in this, I'm thinking things like social share that helps with engagement.
Love it.
She always mentions at the end of her video, please send me your creations. I love to see what you guys make. So I thought it'd be cool to have, we would need an approval process to make sure the right images are uploaded.
Of course.
No one's trolling, but upload an image, we'll review it, and then afterwards, if you made the unicorn cake, we'd love to see it, and we can have like a user gallery. And then as well a feed, kind of an aggregate of all these different sections.
Yep.
So the screens that we're going to be working on this week are our home screen, a blog section, and that'll include recipes, DIY, lifestyle, and news. A video section, and that's going to include the video, a description, the products that were used in the making of that video. Again, because she has her own baking line, and all these YouTubers, sending out their Amazon affiliate links is also a revenue stream for them. So this is all really, really important. And then maybe the feature of like comments or reviews, I've got some mixed feelings on that, just because it could spiral out, but it's also another thing that they have to upkeep
Right.
And is the value proposition there for that? So something to think about.
The nice thing is with YouTube, and I'm sure Rosanna has this on, is there's a filter you can put in. You can blacklist words.
Oh,
so
right.
that will definitely help if you're curating automatically comments from
Yep.
YouTube.
Yeah, we might make a filter. We'll put in different words in the filter, but yeah. And then a shop area. So this will link out to, again, probably Amazon. I think she has a line with Wilton, which is like one of the biggest makers of baking products. And so, you know, people can buy directly there or through Amazon. And again, a description, gallery of those images. We'll want to have a page about Ro, her social channels. And then I thought it'd be cool to have something unique in this app too, that you could favorite content. So when you find a recipe, when you find a video that you really like, you can kind of favorite or bookmark that and get back to that content really easily. Because she puts out at least 1 or 2 videos a week, so it'd be really easy to lose stuff in the archives.
Yeah, especially if you want to go back and cook stuff with your family. It's very hard to just get up and cook something right then and there. You might want to cook it, you know, a week or 2 later.
Exactly.
And being able to find that is valuable.
Yeah. So let's dive in.
Let's do it.
Let us know if you guys have any questions, but we'll get started. All right. So I've got this going. Let me just create a new file just so people can understand
Heba's
how
here.
I get that. Hey, what's up, Heba?
Sorry. Tim, Nana.
So
What's
what
up,
you want to
everyone?
do when you come in here, I have an iPhone X and I like to prototype while I design using the Adobe XD app. It gives me a real-time view of what I'm making on my phone. And that's really important because often, particularly on mobile design, I find that what you look on the screen, it might feel you know, too small or too large.
Yep.
And it's great to just see it in actual use. So pick the device you're working on. I know some of the guys have a different phone here and they'll be designing it on that one, and that's the way that you guys should be creating this stuff. So we could just come here, click iPhone X, and that'll open up, and immediately I've got an artboard or a frame here with the iPhone X dimensions, and I can get started.
Now, how do you deal with the lovely notch?
Yeah, so that is a pain. And what I do is if you go up here to File, Get UI Kits, and you go to Apple iOS, let's just pull it up real quick so everybody sees. This will take you to Apple's interface guidelines and resources, and you can come right here and download this for Adobe XD.
Yep.
And so I've already got that open, and what this will do, if we zoom out, is it's got everything that you need here. It's got your fonts, your safe areas, all of the standards, you know, things like a keyboard. So if we, later come in and say, we want to have a section that needs to, we want to type something in, I can just grab this element. I don't need to go recreate anything. Yep. So it's really, really handy. And I've pulled some things over already, like the home indicator at the bottom, the time and information up here, and then as well as the notch. So that's really, really, really helpful. What's up, Russ? Good to see you, buddy. Okay, so let's close this down. I'm gonna go back to my document and let me just see if I have it on this one. I don't. We'll go back there later. Let's show you how I would do that. So I'm gonna come here, and is it this one? Yeah. I'm gonna grab this display shape, and what I will do is I'm gonna pull this over, I'm gonna paste this, and that just helps give me a gauge of what the notch is gonna look like. And then what you have to do is lock it in place, and you have to hide it when you're not using it.
Right.
Otherwise it'll select the frame. So just a little trick, but it's really good to have that as a base. And so I'm gonna just keep this as a blank board because this is gonna be like my building block for all of my things.
I can't tell you how many times I've designed an app for the iPhone 10, completely forgot about the notch, and then I preview it on my device and there's half the stuff missing at the top.
Yeah, I do that a lot when I like push shots to dribble and whatnot.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, I forgot about the notch and I need to redo the design. So
Yep.
definitely good to do. And hey, what's up, Eric? Good to see you. Okay, so one other thing that I like to do when I start off projects and is great here with Adobe XD is you can set all of your assets and symbols and whatnot. So I've already set this up just to save some time for this morning, and I've pulled in the different colors that I want to use, character styles, and so I based a lot of this off of material just to get, a base for everything. And we'll modify this as we go and as we see needed. But I think this is something really important. And if you guys don't do this yet, I really recommend that you do this at the start of your projects, because I know all the things that I might possibly need. And when you hand this off to developers too, it's really easy to now know what your type is, your typeface, the font, the size, the case, your letter spacing, everything. It's just really a clean handoff.
It helps so much, and especially with character styles and even colors and symbols. As you start using these things throughout your document, you can have, dozens and dozens of titles with the exact same character style. But then if your client comes back to you a week later and says, you know what, I'm not digging that Avenir next, can you go to Comic Sans? You don't have to go through every single artboard and make those changes. You just change it once in your assets panel and it distributes throughout the whole thing. It's fantastic.
Exactly. So I'll just pull these over here so you guys can see the color palette that I'm working from. And I pulled the pink directly from her website and her logo. And then I added some complementary colors, and I actually took this pink. And so for this secondary color, I think what I did was I just started pulling that over here on the list. I might have pulled it down. And so you can see I'm roughly in the same range.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted that gray with a little bit of the pink tone,
Yeah.
and just so it feels like it's in the right family. And I did the same thing here for this light background color. It just gives everything a cohesive feel to it.
I like it. Do you ever use any services or websites to get your color schemes?
Yeah, I mean, Adobe Cooler is a great one. My buddies at Unfold, Gradient or Gradient.com, super awesome tool for really cool gradients. And now with the crazy gradient tool that Adobe announced last
Illustrator.
week. Yeah.
Love it.
I haven't tinkered with it too much, but I've been watching all my friends post
Yeah.
the shots with it. It's really, really cool. And then a couple more things that I've added as well. As I mentioned, I've got my home indicator here. I've got the status bar, so this is going to be white at the moment, so we can't see it. Let's just throw that in the back so we can see. So again, just pulling all of these things over to have, and I've got my logo file here and whatnot. And so now when I make changes to these, like you said, it'll update throughout the entire app.
Yeah.
And it's really, really easy to use.
Oh yeah, Tim points out that it's no longer cooler, it's Color CC.
It was cooler when it was cooler. Just saying.
There we go.
Adobe
First pun of
Fonts
the
is
day.
really, really awesome
Yeah.
versus Typekit. I've been
I miss
enjoying that.
Cooler. It's still around, but the name is just...
Yeah. But how cool Adobe Fonts now, you just get access to everything.
I know.
To sync
Unlimited
rather than
syncing.
The limitation.
That was one of the coolest announcements at Adobe Max.
I went ham last night, just downloaded so much stuff. So yeah, all right. So let's get started.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's pull this over a little bit. So one thing that I want to do real quick, I'm just going to detach this symbol actually for a second, and let's pull this over. Oops. Over here, and I'm just going to do a quick app icon, and I've got it currently at 256 by 256, and we'll just come in, and these fractional pixels are going to drive me nutty, so let's try 220, and let's get this off that. And even though we're not going to necessarily involve this in our prototype, I just think it's important to showcase things as you see them. So let's give this 24, 24. And let's pull this in a hair. So what do we need? 12 and 12. Minus 12. All right. Cool. So we've now got our app icon. I think that works well. I would recognize this, seeing this in my iPhone dock.
Totally.
And we're off to the
And like
races.
Anel said, the R is really creative. It's almost like a little smile going on over there.
Totally, and I didn't create the logo. This is her brand, but I think it's so fitting for her. She's got this kind of bubbly personality. It's very friendly, and that's another choice. So if we talk about our typography again here, so as we come in, I noticed. Let me go into one of her products, and hopefully I've got it in one of these. Yeah, so when I was grabbing the product images, I noticed one of my favorite fonts being used, Brandon Grotesque. And so I pulled that over. I think that's very fitting for her because it's got that kind of rounded edges and it has that kind of bubbly feel. It is also being used here in the paragraph or body copy of the product. I'm personally not as big of a fan of Brandon
I was gonna
for body
say, yeah.
copy. So what would pair with that? And again, leveraging Adobe fonts, I went with one of my other favorite fonts, which is Proxima Nova,
Yep.
and they have
Love
Proxima
it.
Soft, which has that rounded feel, but it's a little bit cleaner. And so I think those two fonts are gonna pair really well together throughout this app.
Absolutely.
So,
What's up, Rocky?
hey, what's up, bud? Rocky had a ton of rad illustrations at Max on the Adobe Live booth,
Yes.
and it was really cool.
Chris is also in the house. What's up, Chris?
What's up,
Sean?
Okay, and so let's move this actually over. Let's dupe that board so we have a base. And I'm gonna come over here. Let's name this layer logo. And I'm just gonna do a really, really simple splash screen. Maybe we'll modify this later with a photo or something, but as you load up the app, we could just have this here. And then let's jump over a screen. So, all right. Okay, so let's go back to our document. We've talked about our main thing. So in our navigation, we're gonna want home, we're gonna want blog, videos, shop, and favorites.
Yeah. And how do you prioritize that?
Well, I think there's kind of two trains of thought. And I've seen apps too that you could kind of tap and hold and actually move them around. That's actually in a lot of the crypto apps. I don't know why, it's
Right.
like almost specific to them. But you'll see stuff where the first one you land on is either the first item, or sometimes you'll see the most important item is the center item.
Right.
And I mean, I guess sometimes it is a preference thing. I tend to lean more towards left to right. I don't have a really good reason for that. It's just how I tend to do it. But let's create something here. So what I want to do is I have to keep in mind of this home indicator. And again, according to iOS guidelines, that sits 9 pixels from the bottom of the page. And so it's really, really important to know those kind of details. Also knowing that a touch point is going to be 44 pixels by 44 pixels for the human thumb. And again, it's all these tiny little details that you need to know to make sure that your app is accessible. So with that, we want to make sure we've got a good amount of space here behind this because we don't want to have any conflicts with this box. I'm going to make it kind of an ugly color at the moment just so we can see, but we want to make sure we don't accidentally swipe up. And
Right.
I see this in apps all the time.
I was gonna say, so many developers, especially Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst because you're trying to swipe different screens and they don't disable that bottom section.
Yeah.
And you're just tapping on things you don't want to tap on.
Yep, I have this game I play, and it flips, into landscape mode, and then you have to swipe at the bottom to like go to different shop items.
Right.
And I constantly swipe out of the app, and it just drives me bonkers.
All the time.
So
So it's nice to see that you're paying attention to that.
yes, really, really important to do that kind of stuff. So let's come over here. I think I'm gonna want to go with about 88 pixels. I design everything on an 8-point grid. I just really like the way that works in terms of vertical rhythm
Yep.
and with your iconography, because your icons are generally going to be 16, 24, 32, etc.
Right.
And with fonts, I generally work in increments of 4 for vertical rhythm, because I also find that gives you a lot more freedom than 8. That gets really, really restrictive. So we'll come here. I want to have this box here in the background, and then I'm going to create another box that is only 1 pixel for just a little border or divider at the top. And then I'm going to switch this back to white. And this one's too strong. Actually, let's do this properly with our colors. And we've got our light gray. And so now we see that, and it's just really subtle, but it's enough separation from things.
Love it.
Okay, and then
And just out of curiosity, why you created a separate, did you create a separate border for that line across the top?
I did, just because I don't want the border on all sides, and I
Right.
don't want to have to pull it like 1 pixel off
Okay,
the screen
got
in
it.
each direction, but I could
a good
totally
point.
do it that way. Okay, and then this one, let's also do this. So I'm gonna make a pink box here. I am trying to remember how I do this. I think I wanna divide this by 48 roughly, and that's gonna give me my, 24 pixels of padding on the side. And then, actually I don't think I did it that way.
That's great to hear, Chris. He started his first design with XD yesterday after the stream.
Nice.
Nice.
Whoops, let's go back here.
And if you want to keep designing, we have a challenge going on right now. Under the challenge tab, you can design right alongside Peter, and we will be reviewing those challenges about 30 minutes before this stream ends.
And so what I'm doing here now is I've divided out the screen into 5 sections, and I'm just gonna use this to align my items down in the page, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna delete it afterwards.
Nice.
And then for this, I'm also gonna use Nucleo app for my icons. And it's great
Mm-hmm. love
because
that.
it tags and you can search and it saves you hours.
Yep.
This thing goes on sale 1 or 2 times a year, down to like $50. Buy it.
Definitely
It's
buy it.
the greatest time
I cannot
efficiency thing.
have too many icons. I think
Yeah.
I just recently purchased the subtle icons, I think they are.
Okay.
And I just keep purchasing icons. I don't know why, but they come in handy.
It's, I don't know, some people collect shoes or whatever. Designers, we collect icon
Absolutely.
suites.
Icons and gradients and
Yep.
now unlimited fonts.
Yes. Just go ham on the fonts. All right, so we've got home, blog, videos, and we've got shop. And so all I'm coming in here now, it's showing me results that are kind of related to this. And I want this to be a shop bag. And I like this one here. Oh, and I can also do things like it's rounding the corners of the icons just a hair.
That's really cool.
Yeah, really, really helpful.
And they all import as SVG, so you can just enlarge them or
Correct.
shrink them as much as you want.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Love it.
So, okay, I'm good here. I've got all of my fonts now, or excuse me, all my icons, and I'm just gonna roughly place these where I want them.
Chris, that does make you a bad designer. He's never heard of Nucleo.
I'm pretty sure I showed you Nucleo at Max, man.
Come on, Chris. No, but seriously, there's so many different services and websites and tools out there that it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, another one is Icon Jar.
Icon Jar.
Which is awesome.
See, I haven't heard of that one.
Icon Jar does the same thing, but it's not its own icon suite. So,
Okay.
For example, Streamline has always been one of my go-to icon suites as well.
Yeah.
And my buddy Matt D. Smith, he's been on the stream a couple times, just helped work on Streamline 3.0.
Nice.
And so I grabbed all of those recently. And again, I've got bold, regular, light. I can search through all of these. They're all tagged.
I love those little animations as you click on the
Yeah,
different.
it's all the subtle things.
Subtle.
Which we're gonna do a lot of cool stuff because now Adobe XD with the auto animate is super cool. All right, so I'm gonna pull all these in.
Nucleo isn't on the plugins page, but it's a separate. I believe you can Google it and it'll be.
Correct.
It's a separate app.
Yeah. All right, and so for this, I want to use my secondary color for these because I don't want to highlight them when they're not active. And then I think I'm gonna do my caption text over here. So let's just type something out, and we'll make that a caption. And we'll
You know
just
what I wish
roughly put
Adobe
there.
XD had? A lot of times I run into this a lot, and if any of the product managers or engineers are watching, you grab your type tool, you click on a white background, and it types in white.
Yeah.
I wish you could detect the background and then like dynamically switch to a slightly darker color so you can see what you're typing.
That would be really cool.
Simple things.
It's the things like that that we don't think of
I know.
that should just be there.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Uservoice.com. Adobe XD.
Oh, yeah.
Uservoice. Someone go type that in right now. Oh, look, we have fireworks. It's chat and win time. So what's going to happen? We're going to cut to a very quick video. When we come back, just start chatting about things. Just bang your keyboards. Talk about things. I'm going to make Peter spit over here.
Someone's gonna sit there with like a mechanical keyboard and
Grab
just
your cat and make it
irritate
slam.
everyone in the office.
And we're going to pick a winner very shortly. And And we are back. Now start typing. Let us know what your favorite font is, and we'll pick a winner in just a few minutes.
Hey, Mark Bowden, good to see you, buddy. Got folks in
See, people are
Bermuda
just
from
slamming their keyboards. This is great. What is happening? I agree. What is happening? I don't think I've seen a single font yet. Let us know your favorite font. I'm kind
I
of
wish
liking
Cray Cray
Avenir.
was a font.
Cray Cray should be a font. Avenir Next is probably the one I use most often.
It's a good font.
It is a good font.
I'm a big Open Sans fan. It just always works.
It does.
Always works.
Always.
Very robust. Clients can always use it because it's,
Yeah.
it's open source.
We have one internally, Adobe Clean, I think.
I
which is
know,
a
I was
really
trying
nice-
to get it last
Yeah.
night. I was looking
Just
on
for
like
us.
the dark corners of the internet trying to find it. No.
We're hoarding it. Trade Gothic,
Proxima
Proxima Nova, that's a good one. Comic Sans, everyone who says Comic Sans should leave.
Oh, well. Oh, I started designing. I forgot to wireframe and
And we have a
show
winner, Sean. Congratulations. So someone's going to be in touch with you very shortly. You have just won 100 free stickers for Sticker Mule. And if you did not win, you did not lose. Because if you go to stickermule.com/Adobe Live, you can actually get 10 free stickers sent to your home or your office or wherever.
Yeah.
They're great. Peter
They're
has one on his
fantastic.
computer. I need some stickers. I got to order some. Maybe
Oh,
I'll go to
Rocky. Rocky has a sticker subscription service.
really?
I'm actually very sad. I think the last time I was on the stream, if you look at the video, my entire clamshell was covered in stickers.
Ah.
And it was the most beautiful laptop ever. And then the screen broke.
Oh,
and
no.
I had to get a new one.
Oh,
and
no.
I might have cried.
But if you want some stickers, stickermule.com/Adobe Live.
Yes.
They're great. They're great quality. I've had a few before. I definitely need to stick some back on my computer. But very fast shipping, ships worldwide. And stickers. Who doesn't love stickers?
Stickers are the best.
I love stickers.
All right. So
And congrats, Sean.
let's pretend like we're back to wireframing. So I actually use Comic Sans when I wireframe. And the reason I do it is because my brain can't take it seriously. If I start wireframing with something like Open Sans or Brandon or whatnot, I just go right into design mode, as you guys saw. But if I start wireframing things out in Comic Sans and then I try to use like a monochromatic color palette, like maybe blues or something, my brain separates that out from design and wires.
It's a good point. And when I first heard you use Comic Sans, I wanted to leave
Yep.
and cancel this whole stream. But it's a good point. You know, Comic Sans, Papyrus, all these very cliche, ugly fonts.
Yeah,
It'll make you think twice. And
it does. But I'm more of a designer. I tend not to wireframe out digitally. I tend to work on a whiteboard and then take photos of what I've done, bring in the
you make
photos.
Chris throw up.
Yeah, I just bring in the images and then work on that based on it. Or did you see the Bluescape booth at Adobe Max?
I didn't.
The coolest thing ever. So it's like a Minority Report for wireframing.
Oh, I missed
And it's
it.
this giant touch screen, and you can literally just start throwing screens all around, use like an Apple Pencil or a Wacom
Eddie
pen
also
and
says,
work on
use
it.
ugly icons. I have to check this out.
Yeah. I think we made that with David back in the day, because I used to work with David, and we would make really ugly wireframes digitally to help that separation, and there's the Comic Sans.
Oh yeah, these are like Comic Sans of icons.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it just helps keep things separated.
It is a sketch file, but you can import sketch files directly into
Yes.
Adobe XD. Oh, and there's your name.
Yeah.
There you go.
See? Apparently I coined Comic Sans wireframing a long time ago.
Well done.
All right, so let's jump in here. So we've got our home. We'll bring this over and blog. Spell that right. Blog. Videos. Shop.
And in a very strange way, this kind of works with Rosanna's app,
What do you mean?
the Comic Sans.
Oh, I switched it back just so that people would stop throwing up.
it's not
but-
Comic Sans? Okay.
No,
It's
this
very
is,
tiny over there. It's hard
back
to see.
Procs, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then we've got faves. So I'll come in here now, and all I'm gonna do is just align these up. And you guys can actually do this. The hotkey is gonna be Command Control C, and that will align all of those items for you.
Pro tip.
C, and one more, Command Control C. Okay, great. And then I want to get all of these, make sure that they're aligned. And I'll do that. And let's have this be, again, working in that increments of 8. I want that 16 pixels from the top. And then I want these to all be aligned and be, I think this one's 24 by 24, 8 pixels underneath the text.
Nice.
And that works.
When you import your icons from wherever you are importing them from, do you convert them to symbols in your assets panel?
I would, yes.
Okay.
So, you know, I would come here, and if we go back to our layers, I've got Cupcake Pen. This would be play. Shopping bag is fine. Heart 2 is fine. And so, yeah, I would come here then, and I could add these as symbols individually. And then if those change anywhere. And the great part then is, I believe, if they're embedded within a larger component. So like in this case, I've got icons, and then I make a component of the whole bottom navigation as a whole. If I change that icon, it's going to change throughout the whole
Exactly,
document.
yeah. Replacing symbols is super simple with your assets panel.
Cool. All right.
And now we have link symbols.
Yes. So you can do
So you can have like a full icon sheet if you're not using an app and you want like a style guide of icons or a sticker sheet. You can you can update one icon on that sticker sheet, save it, and it'll populate throughout all your other documents, which is great.
Yep. And then I want to make this a little bit more clear that this is the icon that you're or the section that you're currently on. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to duplicate this and Cupcake, we'll call this shadow, and I'm going to detach this one from the symbol. And I'm going to move this down, I think, 2 in each direction. If I come back to that, whoops. Did that ungroup the whole thing? Oh yeah, it did. 1, 2. I think I still want it grouped. Okay, and then I'm going to remove the outline, and I'm going to add a fill, and I'm going to do the pink, and let's knock that down to like 20%. And I'm going to move that behind this. And now I get just a really subtle, especially when this is back at 100%.
Well, that's fancy.
It's just a little something else.
It's
to,
nice,
you know,
yeah.
zhuzh it up.
Zhuzh it up.
And I think that works well. Okay, cool. So I want to skip ahead a little bit. And rather than work on the home screen here, I think let's work on maybe one of the blog articles. And so let's see what that's gonna look like. Okay, so.
Erica says you are a boss.
Oh, thank you, Erica. I love watching Erica streams on Twitch too, and she's really fun to watch. She does a lot of illustration and rad things. Okay, so coming back up here, we're gonna have a couple of sections. So we mentioned here that we are gonna have.
We're ruining JD's workday.
Oh.
I apologize.
It's good. I leave the stream on a lot, like on my second monitor at work, and I just kind of listen in, and you pick up little nuggets of gold.
And if you're working in any sort of design industry, it gives you a little bit of inspiration, hopefully.
You tell your boss I'm doing research. And
yeah, it's for science purposes.
All right, so blog, we've got recipes, DIY, lifestyle, and news. So I'm gonna add a filter here. So we've got all, I don't know if I want that all caps or not. Let's see. But let's zoom in a bit here. I wanna change this to, I think, this guy, and I'm gonna make this maybe the pink as the primary. And then let's do our secondary colors. And let's do things like recipes, DIY, bouncing back and forth between cases. Recipes, DIY would still be. And then, what do we have? News is the other. Okay. So we've got that. Let's make this, again, 24 pixels from the edge. And I might change this later, but I think for the moment, I'm just gonna have this be in even increments. We might change this to be a little bit different later, but.
Munir says, one thing that XD is missing is dark mode. Who agrees with me? What are your thoughts?
I could kind of care less.
Really? Okay.
Only because even though I'm using dark mode on Mac, I kind of hate it. It just throws off all the visual hierarchy in apps, so you don't actually understand what's selected or whatever.
Right.
And there's a lot more features I would rather see in XD and in other programs than dark mode.
That's true. I mean, it comes down to prioritization, right?
Yeah.
There are things that, if you go to adobeXD.uservoice.com, there are a lot of things, a lot of features that users definitely want above dark mode. I would love to see it.
Yeah,
because once I switched over to dark mode in Photoshop, and you can really fine tune it. It's not like super dark mode. You can kind of have in between. I don't think I've switched to the light mode since it was released.
Yeah.
But like you said, there are definitely things that the team is prioritizing over something like dark mode that would definitely help us in our designing.
Yeah. So let's do it. It's like a hack day thing, but
Yeah.
in the meantime, everything else. All right, so we've got this, and so we've got this kind of like selection tool. This would snap things. Let's maybe add a search.
Did you spell recipes wrong?
Did I do it again?
Thank you,
man.
Larry. And we have, look, spell check in XD.
Oh, that's right. All right, so let's fix that. Let's just re-sort those since that probably changed it. Oh, I'm usually so good at that. It's embarrassing. Okay, so this should be, I think, 327. And let's put this at.
So Jason says he suggested more voice languages support for voice prototyping. Absolutely. So that's another thing that's probably prioritized over dark mode, because now that voice is kind of in the wild, it supports English at the moment, but more voices are definitely coming, and that stuff takes time. So,
Yeah.
you know, if dark mode was prioritized, it would kind of push some of that stuff back. So priorities, people.
Yeah.
My favorite pies are recipes.
Nice.
Nice too.
Hey, what's up, Zach? Good to see you, man. Okay, so let's do that. And then also, again, just because of where, if we go back, our little notch, which is here, I want this all to be a little bit lower on the page. So I'm going to bring this down to about 64. And I think that'll work nicely. We'll hide that again. And let's come here. Let's grab another icon. So let's grab a search icon. And I like this one here with this little...
Ooh, it's got a little highlight in there.
Yeah, and I just feel like that matches the mood and tone of things. And I might come here and I want this a little smaller. So I might lose the shine, but let's see. I might like that. Let's see if I can resize that easily. Lock that in, 16. Ooh.
Responsive resize is on.
Oh, that's why.
That's one thing you have to be careful with. If you're working with line-based icons, if responsive resize is on, it might distort it a little bit. So turn it off and then resize it.
Yeah. All right, and then...
Embrace the notch, Peter. That's what Sean says.
I don't mind it. I thought it was gonna really bother me at first, but I just ignore it now.
Yeah, kind of fades away.
All right, so we've got our search at the top. We've got our sections. So let's grab some of our content now. And let's switch this over so we're on the blog section. Let's update this. And let me just make sure that didn't update.
And Zach is trying to get convinced to move off of Sketch. And if anyone can, Peter can.
Yes.
And Zach, let us know what one or two things would definitely, that don't exist in XD, what would definitely help you make that move over?
Yeah, that was something. So I got to go to some stuff at Max for Adobe XD, and I will say this, it is really awesome how intently the Adobe XD team is listening to people and the features that they want, and things that are coming, things that have just been released. It's made major progress in the last year. And it's been funny watching the buzz and seeing things on designer news and whatnot. And everyone's like, oh, Adobe's like right there as a powerhouse now for UI UX design, and it's a really robust application now.
It is, and honestly, it comes from the community. Like, again, Adobe XD at uservoice.com, a lot of the features that have come out recently were some of the top voted features on User Voice. And looking at what our roadmap kind of looks like, and you saw a little bit of that at Max, top secret stuff. A lot of that stuff is features that are right now at the top of the list. So it's exciting. I wish I can talk more about our roadmap.
I know.
But we have a lot of cool stuff coming up.
Yeah. Definitely stay tuned. It's going to be really, really good.
Yep.
All right, so I've just moved this over. So again, applied the same effect here to our blog. We've updated the text and the colors and whatnot.
I love that little shadow.
It
fun.
adds a little something. Something to keep in mind. I know I'm doing a aligned style. I can leave that.
Yeah, Zach, we introduced responsive resize not too long ago, so you can very easily just take like an iPad design, squish it down to an iPhone design, and all the little elements will do its best to intelligently kind of shift inwards. There's constraints, there's a whole lot of things, and possibly at some point Peter will show some of that stuff off, or I can hop over to my screen at some point.
Definitely. And I pulled this over. I made this before, so I knew the dimensions, but what I want to do now is have these cards that showcase the different items, and I want to have the graphics that are going to go along with the videos.
Yep.
And so what I did was I did 1920 by 1080 because my assumption was that most of this stuff is stemming from video content, and that would be the ideal, so that way they don't have to go create new thumbnails for this stuff.
And usually, especially with YouTubers like Rosanna, the thumbnails are so well crafted.
Yeah.
They're just beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a whole different theory of how to do them for YouTube. I mean, crushing it on YouTube. And yeah, it's really, really important to make that stuff fun and engaging.
Yeah.
So
it's like a little billboard for your videos.
Yeah. So let me recreate this. That way we can see how I did it. I just wanted to get my dimensions. So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna add this. So I've shrunk this down so that my padding is correct. So 327 by 184. And I think I had to round up for like a hair of a decimal issue. And let's go up, down 2. Cool. And then what I did was I came over here and I changed the corner radiuses to 16 at the top, and then I want it flat on the bottom so that it connects to the card. And I'm using these rounded edges throughout the application. We've got these kind of rounded fonts. I know that her user base is largely younger kids, a lot of moms and parents, and so it just matches that whole feel. I'm really digging on that kind of stuff. And then we'll come over here, I'm gonna grab the bottom, and I just set a base to be down here for our text. And then we'll recreate this guy. And again, I'm gonna sync this to be 16 pixels from the top and from the sides. And I'm using, I believe, what are we at, 24. So what I've got is my H3 text. And I might change these like H1s, H2s later, depending on how it's being used. I think what I have is way too big for an H1 to the point that I would never actually do it. But we'll see as we go. And then to add the shadow effect, I'm gonna create one more box behind the item here. And I'm just gonna put this on overlay.
Hey, Kathleen. She says, it's Peter.
Hey. That's Gus's wife, right? No? Oh, Gus is not here.
I don't know, Gus. Where's Gus? Gus Bot.
Oh, it is, okay. I thought so. We got to hang out at Max last week. All right, and then I want to give this a blur of about 30. I think this is one of those things that you see designers either do right or do really wrong, is that shadow effect.
Shadows are difficult.
It is, and I've learned anywhere a blur of like 20 to 40, depending on the size of your element, gives it that nice, soft, subtle blur.
Yeah.
And then I also want to come in here, and I'm gonna either have this at like 16 or 8%.
Okay.
And I feel like that gives it the right amount of, I see it, but it's not overpowering anything, and it it does have an effect because it changes your background color.
Yep.
And it could feel a little muddy or whatnot. So
It's like using bevels in Photoshop.
yeah.
Either you do it really well or it just looks ugh.
And then I'm gonna send this, I added the 16 pixel radius, and then I'm gonna send this to the back. And now that gives my whole card that effect. And I'm gonna add one more thing here first.
I like it. Gives a little pop.
Yeah, it just helps it bounce off and gives it a little excitement.
Yeah.
So this is currently the all feed. So we want to have tags to also identify what these items are. And so let's just create a little thing here.
There's no way I can make the text uppercase. That's another one of those little quality of life improvements that the team is definitely going to be getting to at some point. Priorities again.
Yeah, and then Damien, you're talking about locking the bottom bar when you're not using it. Yes, so what you can also do is if you come here, I could just group all of this. And again, I have this saved somewhere as a symbol. I might grab that one, just add that, make sure I've got it right. And what you can then do is come over here and click on this item, fix position when scrolling. And what that will do is later when you go to do your prototyping, it'll lock it at the bottom of the screen and the content can scroll behind it. And yeah, then you don't need to worry about it.
And Erica's mentioning, I think someone else mentioned it earlier, is she would love to see a way, instead of shift, when you're holding shift and you're moving an object, instead of 10 pixels, 8 pixels.
Yes.
That's great feedback. And if it's not on user voice now, definitely throw it in there.
And I'm actually working on a plugin for that already with a friend. So that will be coming very soon. And I don't know, follow me on social at Peter Deltondo and I'll let you guys know when that comes out. But that would make my life so much better, so we're just making it.
And I thought that was the coolest thing because we were just chatting on Twitter and I think you asked if that was possible.
Yeah.
And I said, was it me that said create a plugin or somebody said just create a plugin?
I called my buddy, I'm like, dude, we're making a plugin.
And he started making a plugin. I mean, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. If you know even just a little bit of JavaScript, check out the documentation. It's really easy to make a plugin in XD.
Yeah, the Adobe XD page, I think, has a whole like guide and walkthrough on making plugins. So
it's great.
We're doing that. I think we're going to do one more based on some stuff.
Oh, really, Peter? Yes.
All right, so let's make a really small tag. Maybe that's too small. Let's go 32. Again, I want to have this be like a full pill, so I'm going to add 100. And let's do something like this. And then I'm going to add my text, and I'm going to say recipe, not recipe.
So Chris is asking, did you have to create the box behind the card to add a shadow, or can you group both? Oh, it's moving quickly. Can you group both items and apply the shadow to the group?
Not yet. Yeah, so that's why you do it as the background element.
Yep.
And then let's make sure that's right. Cool, I think we're good. Okay, so I'm gonna come here back to my text. I wanna use, I think, this overline one. And just double check, yeah. I think that's gonna be right. And let's make, I have mixed feelings on this one just because I feel like this is so much more readable, but
It is, yeah.
it gets a little bit, it's a little overpowering, but because we're making this small, maybe it's gonna work better than I thought. And that's what, hang on. Let's just change the text color so that would be another thing. If the contrast of your guides can't be seen based on the colors that you're using, that the guides would recognize that and go to a different color. Because that's something I do all the time.
That's also good feedback, yeah.
And then I realize I have to change that.
Use that Adobe Sensei technology.
Yes. All the Sensei stuff at Max was so impressive.
It's crazy what they're doing with that stuff.
Yeah. If you guys haven't watched the Sneaks video yet,
Oh.
you should, because the stuff that came out, the parallaxy photo change.
Oh yeah, where
thing.
it like animates a still
Yeah.
photo. Crazy.
Adobe Rush is super cool.
Yeah.
I run a graphic or designer meetup at Disneyland with a buddy of mine who's in the channel, Andrew Hawkrattle. So if any of you guys are SoCal designers, come join us the first Thursday of every month. We meet at the Disneyland parks. We do like a 15-minute tour about something design related at Disney, and then
Nice.
it's just an excuse to go on rides and hang
Of
out
course.
with the community. We want to make some videos from it, and so we're going to use Adobe Rush to build out
I love
all of
that. Kathleen said she met Adobe Sensei at Max. Very chill.
Yeah. Oh, and Emily joined us at the last designer meetup, and there's Andrew.
Oh,
So,
nice.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to check one of these out.
it's super fun.
I'm not too far.
All right, so we'll play with this. Maybe, let's come up here, add that. I don't know, maybe.
Best beginner tutorial to learn better Adobe XD. There's actually, if you go to the HelpX website, I think it's helpx.adobe.com, there's an XD section, and it's got a bunch of different videos. I even did one little series on if you're using Photoshop and you kind of want to use XD in your workflow. There's a few videos on that.
Yeah,
Might help a little bit.
There's also this guy named Howard Pinsky who has this
heard of
awesome
him.
YouTube channel. And I might have gone through and watched all of the videos the other day to catch up on like
Yeah.
animating the little heart.
I'm gonna have to check them out.
We're gonna do that stuff. Yeah, you should definitely check them out. Let's see, I think that might be too tight.
Next meetup is November 8th at 7 p.m.
Yep. 1, 2, 3. I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know in chat. I feel like that's a hair tight, but what I like is maybe our printing's a little tight, or letter spacing. Let's bring that into like 75 maybe. It's just something, why is that not updating? Maybe 0, nope. Oh, it unsynced because I changed the color. Let's,
Kind of liking that pink
yeah.
instead of the black.
Oh, the black for sure.
The pill, yeah.
Yeah. And then let's bring that in 4. And then when I change the color, that I think detaches it from the symbol. But the nice thing there is that it's a lot more, or it covers up less of the video content. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I might go back and forth on that a couple times, but I like that it,
Isn't that the job of a designer?
yeah.
It's our life. We just go back and forth in the same thing
Yep.
forever.
All right, and then let's group that, and I'm gonna go and use repeat grid, and this will allow me now, I can just pull this down and add as many options as I want. So let's add maybe like to there. And I think I need to then ungroup it, and that will separate them out so I can change the images within each one.
You can change the images within a repeat grid.
Oh, you can?
Yep.
Okay,
Images and text can be overridden.
I thought I did it the other night, and it,
You can just grab some images and drag them all in.
yeah, so let's come in here to, I've got this all kind of organized. Let's do,
Hey, Munir shouting out Project Comet. Yes.
oh yeah, and I mean, she gets to do all these cool videos, so
Like,
with
come on.
Nintendo and,
I want that life.
right, stuff with Justine. This was a Disneyland thing talking about all the food. Poop-mojis,
Can't get much better than
right?
that.
Which you can't call poop-mojis, so they're called treat molds,
Treat molds.
which is weird, but
Well,
so all this cool stuff.
Yeti.
So here's more with Lily Singh, who
Yep.
was on the Adobe Max stage last week. So let's grab 1 or 2. Let's do this one. This was a recent one with,
it's a great thumbnail.
yeah, there we go. Okay,
Bam.
perfect. Just boom. And this one would maybe be, I think, under lifestyle. And we'll just modify that spacing. And then this is something cool. So you can do math in all of your measurement tools. So I'm just gonna hit +8, and that will bump it over 8.
Math.
And then this is great because I literally went to design school partially to avoid taking more math classes.
And now you're doing math.
yeah,
Thanks Adobe XD. But it does help. It does save quite a bit of time. And it's very basic calculations.
yes,
It's not like you're solving for X anymore.
right.
I hated that.
Well, that was the thing. So I started off like most designers by joining the Army.
Okay.
And so I went to West Point on a golf scholarship. And so like I was decent at school,
Yeah.
but I wasn't like the straight A student or anything. And I ended up getting injured, hurt my legs, and I got a medical discharge. And when I came back, I had to go to like my community college just to stay busy.
Right.
And I came back and I did the placement test like 2 days after like the middle of boot camp, and my brain was not in education mode. And I like bombed all the test stuff, even though I was in like honors classes in high school. And so they put me in like the worst math class. And the first day I remember somebody mentioned like 8 times 3 and they didn't know the answer. And I was like, what am I doing here? And after like a couple of weeks in that class, and I saw a sign for design school, and I was like, I've been making websites for a while.
There you go.
I should go do that. No more math classes. And it was fantastic.
It worked out.
Yeah.
So you just extended your artboard, I saw.
Yes, so I extended that out so that I can see some more of these videos.
Yep.
And so let's pull over this one here with that.
And for those watching, it automatically added that little blue handle on the left-hand side.
Right.
And that basically tells you that everything above that handle is going to be visible when you preview. And then you can start scrolling and it'll reveal everything below it.
Yep. All right, so let's do...
And hey, Melanie, I think I saw you come in here.
my sister's gender reveal cake announcement. And so again, really easy to come in here. I'm gonna pull this down for just a second. Oh, that would be still recipe, perfect, okay. And then let's say, ooh, I don't remember the name of this one, but
Make it up.
does anyone know what that little question box is called from Mario? Let me know in the chat. We'll just call it Super Mario Gold Coin Cake. And, oh, these are called surprise cakes, I think. Surprise cakes, so we'll do that. And then cookies, birthday, party. This is my daughter's favorite video of Rose right now. Watch it at least twice a day.
It's cakes and it's puppies.
Yes.
Can't go wrong with that.
Well, and it was cool. So for every friend of hers that showed up, they donated $100 to the Humane Society.
I love that.
And I think they donated like $4,000 at the end. So it
Wow.
was just really cool. Cookies, birthday party, charity, fundraiser.
And for those who are participating in the design challenge, we have about 26 minutes left. Definitely get in your submissions and we'll take a look at them shortly.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So that gives us a couple of things there. And
Andrew said it's called a question block, or a coin
Question
block,
block.
William says.
Mario Gold Coin Block.
Cakes, puppies, and kittens. Those are the steps to win the internet.
Yes. Oh wait,
Yeah.
and then I spelled Lily's name wrong. My bad. Let's fix that. Okay. She was really fun on stage.
She
with,
was.
Questlove. It was really good.
Yeah. It's amazing the empires they're building just off.
Yeah.
And they all start on YouTube.
Well, it's funny. Okay, so just how all this stuff unfolds in the Cookies birthday party video. Lily's in that one, and they're talking. She's helping Rose set up a little bit, and my wife had mentioned, she's like, "Oh, she's one of my favorite guests on the show." And I'm at Adobe Max, and I see her come up on stage, and I text my wife real quick with a photo of the stage, going, "This is the gal you like, right?" And it was just kind of a neat surprise. All right, so let's do that, and we've got that. Cool. I think I want to add a block similar to this up top here. That way the user doesn't have to re-scroll, or not, scroll back up, I should say, for their content. So
Oh, okay.
I'm going to
Interesting.
bring this guy down, and let's go, maybe, I think we did 20, no, we did 16 below. Math, back to the math. Okay, so we've got that, and now I'm gonna pull this guy down to that, grab these two and group them. And let's send that to the back. Okay, and then we could group these and let's grab this whole element. This, and these. And let's group that to this. Okay, and then same thing here. I'm gonna fix that position when scrolling. And then, are you guys ready to animate some stuff?
Oh boy.
Okay. So let's just do a
Now, before you do that, someone asked a question on Twitter, I think it was yesterday. How cool would it be if you started scrolling, that would trigger an animation? So you have the navigation bar at the bottom, and you also have a navigation bar at the top.
Yep.
It'd be hidden by default. You start scrolling, and then it's not available yet in XD, but that'd be cool if it was a thing.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think how we could do something like that. Maybe, so if I'm not mistaken, the next way we would do this, and I'll name these boards better later.
But don't let me distract you. Go ahead.
No, but this is a cool thing because it would be really great if you could mix the auto animate with the change that you're doing in like a drag, to where as I drag this up, that this all shrinks and the search goes away and it like shifts up.
Yeah.
And then that would be neat.
That you can do with drag.
Okay.
But with scrolling, can't do just yet.
Okay.
But that'd be cool.
But let's, so we'll just grab this. Let me send this to the back. And now we're gonna move this to here. Oh, and then I wanna move that a hair more.
Samrat asked, should I design the website concept for mobile or web? Honestly, probably web, if you're taking part in the challenge. Web is good.
Okay.
Mobile's good too, but web, maybe. Or responsive. You can make it responsive. That'd be cool.
You might like get bonus points if you do that. Okay.
Hey, Zach, welcome.
All right, so let's bring these back up. So our height is gonna be 812 for these, so we can snap that guy back up. And then, do we wanna use the GoPro camera? We can show, oh, well actually we can do it on screen.
You can do that too.
We'll start here. Okay, oh, and then let's grab this, and we want a prototype. We want to drag, auto animate, easing, I don't think we need. Excellent. And then this would drag back to that. And let's test that out. Okay,
Here we
go. Now, oh, you know what? Let's kick it up one more notch. Let's add that display shape on there. We gotta move it back up on the screen. Just so we get that realistic view. All right, so now we get to see exactly what it looks like. I'm over here and I want to click and drag. Oh wait, have it in the wrong spot.
Aw, Victor, he's crying. He's watching Peter designing on XD while he's doing a report template in Word.
We're living the good life over here.
I'm sorry, Victor.
Let's send that to back. And let's make sure that's in the back. Okay. Let's try that again. There we go. So now you guys can see we can just scroll through and we can browse all of the different things really nice and easily.
Love it.
Awesome. And why is it snapping though?
I don't think you scrolled far
enough.
Yeah, to activate that drag effect.
Okay, so we've got that. Let's now do, what does it look like? We can do a cool animation with changing to a different view in this.
Yep.
So maybe when I get down to the bottom, I'm gonna want to come over here and let's turn this thing off. So let's go to, let's say, the recipes section next. So let's make this the pink color.
And this is going to really start to show all of you how easy auto animate really is, because you don't have to worry about timelines, you don't have to worry about keyframing, you just have to worry about designing. So you design the state 1, state 2, and then as you'll see shortly, XD just kind of figures out the rest. It's really cool.
Yeah. Okay, and then let's pull, whoops. Pull this down. To there. My OCD brain needs to make sure that it was 24 pixels over here. Okay, perfect. And okay, so now we want to filter. So I'm going to ungroup this grid. Will that throw anything off with the auto animate?
It might,
Okay, we'll have to see.
but we'll find out.
Yeah, I want to move this one up. I'm going to get rid of this one. I'll get rid of this one. Okay, and you could add a couple more. All right, let's grab like 1 or 2 more recipes. Let's come back here. Zootopia, because I love Disney. So that
was a good movie.
That's so good. It's another one. When you've got little kids, you're looking for the movies that you could watch 800 times
Absolutely.
and not hate it afterwards. And for me, that's most of the Pixar films.
Yeah.
Except for Frozen.
Frozen's
Frozen is
like a once or
broken
twice.
in my house. And my daughter comes up to me sometimes and she's like, "Daddy, can you use your big muscles to fix Frozen?"
Nope.
Oh man, even that cuteness isn't gonna fix it.
It was a good movie to watch once.
Yes,
That's it.
maybe.
Maybe.
Popsicles, making popsicles. Wait, let's do this. Popsicles. Come get your popsicles. No, I don't like that because I don't like the double. See, I'm being picky. Let's do make your own.
It's all about Coco. You know, I haven't seen Coco
Oh,
yet.
Coco's so good.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's a beautiful movie.
I know, I've heard.
And you need to not be like Andrew in the chat and fall asleep during it.
Oh no.
Because it's a shame.
Ooh.
Make your own popsicles.
The best reason to have kids is to watch Disney movies with them.
Yeah,
I mean, you
that's
can watch
the
Disney
reason.
movies without kids too.
Yes. All right, so we've got that, and let's do one more. But it is a giant perk.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, let's just make that, and let's pick one more good one. We've got some Harry Potter stuff. That's a DIY. Ooh, Big Hero 6, another good Disney movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Baymax. Oh, what are these called? Oreo. Cake Pops. From Big Hero 6. Cool. All right, so now let's make sure we get this all set up right. We are going to, let's turn that off for a second. Set our prototype here. I want to bring this over to this screen. We are going to do tap, auto animate, and then what do we think for the easings? Would we want?
My personal favorites are either snap or in and out.
Let's try snap.
In and out
see how
sounds
that goes.
delicious.
What do you like for durations? Maybe like
0.4, not too, you don't want to go too slow,
I like
and you don't want to go too quick. 0.4 is nice.
Okay, and then let's have this one come back to this screen and auto animate snap. Okay, cool. And then we could do the same here. Awesome. All right, and then let's turn back on our frames. let's hit play. Okay, so we know that we can click and drag, but let's come over here and click recipes, and look at that.
Nope, you didn't link it back.
I didn't link it back. I thought I did. Isn't that what this one is?
That's, I think, recipes.
Oh, did I link it from the wrong thing?
Yeah.
Silly Peter. Can't redo that easily. Let's just delete that one, not the whole element.
Just drag it back to the previous, that artboard.
Oh, okay.
Drag it off. There you go.
And then where's our text? All. We'll go back here. Tap. Okay, great. So now let's go back to hit play. And what you guys will see is, I don't know if I can, no, I can't zoom in. You'll see the line underneath is going to automatically, almost like a liquefy or liquid effect, slide over underneath recipes. The recipes text will transition into the pink color, and all is going to go back into that like soft gray pink. So boom.
Love it.
And then I think if we come here, oh, I didn't link that one, but that would be good. Let's come here. Let's do recipes. Oh, I did do it. So let's see what it looks like with the drag, because I'm curious if it's going to like almost like a masonry effect where it'll like kind of readjust stuff.
Oh yeah. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's a smooth fade, but
it's
still,
not bad. Yeah.
that's really good. So, you know, that's just a really nice thing to do. And the beauty of this for me is that this would have been something I would have had to stop, put into After Effects, or put into Principle or something,
right,
and recreate this. And this would have taken me, I don't know, between opening the app, creating the animation, saving it, exporting it, and coming back, that saves me a half hour, 45 minutes.
It
easy.
does, yeah.
And this stuff that's just baked in here is super, super helpful.
It's so easy.
And we can, I don't have it linked on
And you
that.
may have run into a few problems because you have repeat grids going on. And
But I mean, it's still
it
pretty
still looks
smooth.
really good.
Yeah. Like it'd be nice if this one didn't animate at all because it was still at the top.
Right.
But it's still really solid. So cool. All right, let's keep it going a little bit. So let's jump into a screen now that would have this recipe. I think we can get this one done today. Oh, and forgive me if I get this wrong, Anais. Something to check out in plugins. If you go to Discover Plugins, so there's a couple of great ones here, and let's go to my installed ones. So Cat Noon, my friend at Stark, this is one of the most important plugins that you can have because this will check for accessibility in terms of the colors of your type and the app and the contrast with the backgrounds, and it's really important to have that.
Yep.
So that's an app that you should have in here. And the other one is this, Angle from Mang2 at Design and Code.
Oh, this one's great.
And if you wanted to do the live mock-ups of your file, this will take your Adobe XD screens and then put them into a mock-up, kind of like how we used to do with Photoshop and Smart Objects right here in XD. So for those of you that want to mock that up, make sure to check out that plugin.
Yeah. And Gladstone is asking for the challenge, is there any dimensions to follow? Not really. Have fun with it. You can make it large, widescreen, not widescreen, whatever you want.
Yeah, and if you guys want to, just as guidelines, if you just create a new artboard over here, you'll notice on the right side, it'll give you all the different dimensions for the most popular devices.
Yep.
And so in terms of web, you know, I personally work on a 1140 grid, and then my artboard is usually like 1440 or 1600 just for presentation purposes. I think that looks kind of nice. So yeah, go set that up and have fun with it. And I would also recommend for web, use a 12-column grid system. And the reason for that is it's the most flexible. So because 12 can be divisible by 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1, it gives the most flexibility for you and your development team. If you use anything less, you get more constraints.
Totally. And someone was asking to, I think I can't see the chat, but it was asking to reiterate basically how you created the effect, the animation effect. Let me see if I can scroll back up a little bit.
Yeah. So
Repeat, resume the main points to get that effect. Fixed header at the top and the bottom, and smooth slide at the pink bar.
So for, let's turn these back off. The sections, I grouped all of these items that are here above the blog article content. And then you come over here, and underneath your dimensions, you click this box, fix position when scrolling. And that will lock that in place no matter what you scroll. And so I did the same thing for the bottom of the page, and really easy to work that way. All right, and so let's come over here. I want to see more of this project with Lily. And so let's get started.
And for those who are taking part in the challenge, you don't have to submit by 8 minutes. You can submit all day. We're just reviewing them. We're going to review the ones that have been submitted so far in a little bit, but you can submit all the way up till the end of the day. And then a winner will be picked, and then tomorrow morning we will announce that winner who will win a 1-year subscription to Creative Cloud, which is great.
That's super handy. All right, so we can get rid of all of this stuff. And let's come back over here. I want an arrow. This one should do. I think I need a bigger one. Let's go back to 24. Let's do an arrow left. See if that prunes things down a bit. Okay, let's do that. Over here, and again, I want this at roughly 64. Let's maybe align it with this stuff. So what is this at? That is...
Gotta be super precise.
Yeah. It's that OCD brain that doesn't always turn off.
Designer ASMR.
Yeah.
Watching people be super precise with their pixels.
You know what it is for me, when you hand off stuff to developers, like you get some developers that'll catch stuff and be like, oh, it should be this based on standards. And then you work with some developers that see it at whatever it is and they build it to that. And so if you are designing and you're just kind of like flying by the seat of your pants and things are a little randomized, it's easy to make those mistakes. And even though we're rapid prototyping here and we're just knocking out screens really quickly, I feel like it's really important to stop and make sure that those things are right, because you start duping off screen after screen, and then it just becomes the Wild West, and your files are all over the place.
And if you are going to be handing this off to developers and you create design specs, those specs contain all the positioning of every element, and if it's not correct, then they're going to develop that with those incorrect positions and sizes. And you don't want that.
No.
Don't anger your developers.
Nope. Nope.
And for those asking about the challenge theme, let me switch over here for a second. Switch over to my computer for 1 second. And if you go to the challenge tab at the top, here's all the details at the bottom. So for today, you're going to be designing a one-screen homepage for a personal portfolio website using Adobe XD. And then you upload it with this link right here.
And then I'm changing, well, maybe I don't want to do that. I think I want to detach this from the symbol. I want to change the name of this because if I'm not mistaken, the way that this will work for auto animate is it's based off the layer name, and I don't want it to accidentally animate it from my bottom navigation.
That's
a
good
point. To be a separate component.
Yeah. So Adobe XD, when you are auto animating, it's going to look at the layer name and layer type. And if you have multiple, the way it was explained to me by one of our engineers, if you have multiple layers that have the same name, it's basically going to, if I remember correctly, take the one that's closest to the original one on the first artboard and animate it based on the second one on the second artboard.
Yeah.
So it's just good to have different layer names so that they sync up on the two artboards.
All right. Perfect. Cool. So now we've got this. Let's get this a little bit closer to.
We have about 5 minutes left to submit your challenges that Peter and I will be reviewing shortly.
Awesome. And let's grab this image here. I'm gonna make this all 16. And we'll give that another 32. And then let's come in here and we'll make our play button. So I'll hit E for the ellipse tool. And let's make this, I want this to be small because I don't want it to, maybe 40. I don't want it to overpower the content of the videos at all. Because I don't want like a giant play button potentially in front of somebody's face or something. Right. And then we'll come in here to Nucleo. I'm gonna switch to glyph mode, and that's gonna show me my filled options. And I'll come here and let's grab maybe the small one. And I will put that right here in the middle. Let's maybe knock this down to 32. Group that. And okay, that looks good.
It does look good.
And then let's switch this out with the...
Play buttons are always weird because, like you said, they're just there in the middle.
Right.
And you never know, based on the thumbnail, you just never know if they're going to be blocking someone's face or whatever it might be. That's why sometimes I default to semi-transparent play buttons that way. But with the pink, it just, you kind of have to keep it opaque.
Your baking game with these unicorn emoji cookies. Lily Singh joins Rosanna Pansino on Nerdy Nummies to make these fantastically colorful cookies. Okay.
Love the word fantastically.
Yeah. And then let's align that left. Let's use 16 point. And then I want to switch this, like if I want to, I can go back and forth between point text, which will snap to the area.
Yep.
Or I can have it in a text box. And then really quickly, let's see, we're like racing now to get this last one done. I think we can do it.
You got this, Peter.
Let's go back to our overline. Let's add a gallery. And what I want to do now is I want to have some gallery images. And my thought was that these are likely going to be social images. So from a size standpoint, like let's just do 327 by 327. That gives us at least an aspect ratio that'll work on everything.
That's true. And a lot of Instagram photos are square by default.
Correct. But let's bring this in maybe 32. Gives us 295. And then if we do one more over here and I want it to be 16. Okay, so what I'm setting this up for now is that we're gonna have another item slightly off the page.
Yep.
And I'm gonna set this up so this is image, this is actually gonna be image 2. I'm gonna set up image 3, or image 1 over here. And then this will be image 3. And I think I need to group them. Whoops, not dupe, group. And I think I learned this on your channel that I need it to be in a group in order to keep it within and not fall off the artboard.
Right, yeah. If you have a group of items and you want to extend some off of the artboard, if they're in a group and one of the items within that group is visible on the screen, then the others, even if you extend it off the artboard, will remain part of that group on that artboard. Otherwise, it'll plop on the pasteboard, which we probably don't want.
Right. So, and now really easy. I'm just gonna come in here. I'm gonna drop in my images. So I'll throw another one over here, another one over here. And I think, no, it didn't work on that one, but.
Oh, you might have to bring that back over for a second.
Yeah.
Someone was asking about horizontal scrolling, not available in XD yet, but you can kind of fake it with drag effects at the moment until horizontal scrolling is available. But that's definitely one of the top requested features that the team is looking into.
Let's do that. Actually, we can make that a little bit bigger.
Stellar use of the word plop. Thank you. I love that word in some situations.
Say as a dad, you gotta be careful with that word.
That's true.
All right, so minus 271. I just remembered that, so that way that was easy. Okay, now here's where this gets really cool and we get to do fun stuff with XD. So I'm gonna bring this down and I want this to be, let's go maybe minus 64. Let's see what that does. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And right after you do that, we're going to review some portfolios.
Awesome. So this is what, 231. Let's do 231. This one now, 231. Cool, okay. And then I want to set this up. We're going to go. Do I have to set up an artboard for each one of these?
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's go here. This one is back to 295. You know where I'm going with this.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
You can also adjust the masks if you want to get very, very fancy.
Oh. 231. Oh yeah, I saw that on your channel as well. Ooh, okay. We might, you know what, we could save that one for tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do that.
But that would be,
We'll get fancy tomorrow. Siri didn't like that.
no. Okay, so we've got that, and then we'll come over one more. And let's make this. This will be the last one, and then we can jump in there. Okay, so then I want to bring this over to 295. Oh wait, this needs to. 838. All right. One more. Okay. Excellent. We've got that. Okay, cool. So let's make sure these are all aligned up to the top now. And let's send to the back. Send to back. Send to back.
There we go.
And then we'll pull these up a notch and let's do prototype.
Here we go. This is where the fun begins.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to this screen. We're gonna do auto drag. And then I think, is it ease in or ease out or ease in?
Maybe both.
Let's try ease in out.
Go for it.
We'll see how that works. And then, hang on, I might need to spread these out a little bit more. Okay, that one's going there. Then this one is going here. And this one should actually go here, because I did them in opposite directions. Okay, and then that goes back to that. I think we're right. Let's see.
Let's find out.
Okay, so now we can see this page, and we'll add like a heart animation here tomorrow. But we get to see this page. We've got the title, we've got the video, some description text about this, and now when I scroll down to the gallery, I can
Look at that.
check that out. So it's automatically resizing the content around it. And like you said, tomorrow we could do something where you could actually kind of zoom into the image a little bit. And it's just awesome how
And it
does
maintains the scroll position, which is really cool.
Yeah. So let's see. I think I did something wacky with that, but you
That's
guys are getting how this is going. And to me, again, how much time this saves to quickly prototype this out, showcase a client or a stakeholder at your company, what it is that you're building and what that interaction is, and then the fact that they can play with this on their phone and interact with it is just absolutely
Super
outstanding.
cool.
So awesome.
Yeah, so let's hop over and we're gonna check out some, here we go. So we have, looks like we have 5 different websites that were submitted or landing pages for the challenge. And a reminder, you can submit them all the way up until the end of the day. So you don't have to submit them by today or by right now. So let's go ahead and check these out. Oh, all right, let's click on this and we can zoom in. Woo, hold on. Let me zoom in this way. All right. My name is John Doe. Hello, John Doe. What do you think of this?
I like it.
It's very simple.
It is really simple, but I mean, this kind of style of illustration is also super popular right now. And I like, obviously this was a quick challenge. You are the fastest designer in the world if you designed these illustrations, but I like that you took the time to find 3 cohesive images that the illustrations all go together. I think you're using the same font maybe as we might be using.
Could be.
Nice touch.
The only thing I would say, and this kind of goes back to what you were talking about earlier, the shadow on this one, even I believe it's supposed to be the active item or the one that's supposed to be in front, it's a little bit harsh, I would say.
Yeah, and same thing on the button in the hero. Like just soften it up a little bit. But I really like the elements on the page. Maybe with the color too, you've got really bright, vibrant color, and then you go down to this kind of muted pastel. So maybe a little bit more consistency in that usage, but I dig it.
Yeah.
Give things a little bit more room to breathe here, but again, guys, you've had 2 hours for this. This is really, really good.
Yeah. The recent projects look great. I don't know what speed, supply, something or other. This looks really, if that is your work, this looks really cool. And then you have a section where people can contact you.
Same thing here, a little bit more consistency with colors, but really nice. And it's clear, I understand everything about it.
Little piggy bank, everyone likes a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Newsletter. I would suggest adding some additional links to your social media accounts, especially Dribbble and Behance would help. But yeah, looks great.
Yeah.
Awesome. The next one, hello there. Is this it? Or that might be it.
Is there anything to click on? Any prototype stuff?
No.
Well, hello there.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Good morning.
All right. I would love to see some of your work on here.
Yeah.
That would help a little bit. And we have this one here. Let me make this a little bit larger. A little bit of a portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, I see this more as like a CV than a portfolio. And it looks like you did this for tablet because I'm seeing some stuff that looks like battery and whatnot up top. I would definitely encourage you showcase more of the work. As you know, somebody like I hire freelancers or hiring manager at work, I really quickly scan people's portfolios, and that's why I think sites like Behance and Dribbble are awesome. I actually find it more pleasurable sometimes than looking at portfolios because I can just rapid fire get a sense of what your work quality is like and then maybe move on if it's not the right candidate.
Absolutely.
But if I came here, I have to go digging a little bit for your work, so just showcase it right away so I get a sense of what it is that you do. Yeah, but I think try not to blend so much the CV and the portfolio. It'll...
Yeah, the work should definitely speak for itself.
Yeah.
I'm less concerned about what you used to create that work. I definitely want to see the work front and center.
Yeah, and while you load up the next one, please, anybody that has CVs or resumes, do not put bar charts or graphs showcasing the percentage that you know a program. You know it or you don't. I don't need to know that you're 67% proficient at Adobe Illustrator.
All right, next one is loading.
That is cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm digging this one.
Yeah, I like it a lot. And if you take some more time on this one with Adobe XD, you also have a video. I'm just like, go follow this guy on YouTube. because you showcase that one with the mountains and the text.
Oh yeah, let me
and
actually
kinda
switch over very quickly. Actually, I'll do that after.
Yeah. But like you could do some really cool parallax effects with this because
You can, yeah.
You could have it maybe like small down at the bottom and then fading in from a 0% opacity into 100% or even like this,
Yep.
and it would just be really, really cool.
Yeah, and I love how the image is front and center. You have the links over to the side. They're not too small.
Yeah.
Maybe I would space them out just a tiny little bit, but the image is right here, and I would assume if you click on these links that they would take you to additional larger images. But
Yeah.
this looks really nice.
The only comment I would have here, from like a large critique standpoint, is the Photosphere photography portfolio. I just don't feel like that font selection or type selection is matching the quality of the work. Or not the quality. It's got a different feel and vibe to it.
Right.
So that would be it.
Very cool. And we have this one over here. This one came in very early on.
I really like the colors on this.
Yeah, the colors are great. 2018 definitely feels like there's a lot of nice gradients going on.
Yeah.
The social media icons at the top are a little bit difficult to read.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool to have a background image back there instead of white, but I don't know if that takes away from the simplicity.
Yeah, I kind of like the simplicity. I have sort of mixed feelings on this just because sometimes I like getting in there and immediately seeing the work.
Yeah.
Like I'll learn about you after if your work impressed me enough
Right.
that we might work together. Otherwise, like when you get 500 applications in for a job, you got to go through that stuff really
That's
quick.
true.
So that kind of stuff gets skipped over. But I like the simplicity at the top. I don't necessarily need images, but those social icons, maybe doing like a light gray or something, and
Yeah.
that would be really good.
Yeah, get rid of the shadow and then darken the icons a little bit.
Yeah.
And the gradients are just,
Yeah, I like how it's
Lovely.
carrying over
yeah.
from one to one, how you've got
kinda
the
cool.
orange coming in and then the blue coming in. It's really nice.
Yep.
I love the structure of this page. I'd love to see more work, but really, really good job on this.
Typeface is a little small, a little difficult to
Yeah.
read, but
And that would be where that start contrast checker would help
Right.
you and see that.
plug in those plugins.
And something to know with gradient colors and accessibility is that it picks the lightest color in the gradient and matches that to the font. So it's very limiting. Accessible design is kind of like having a hand tied behind your back from
Right.
what you can do visually, but it's really important to know that kind of stuff because it is really important.
Awesome. So that's it for now. The other hosts will definitely check out some portfolios or some websites that come in as they come in. And want to wrap things up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's maybe we have a little bit of time for the masking.
Yeah, we could do that stuff.
Okay. Oh, actually, you wanted to see the
Do we pick anybody?
no at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at the end of the day. So Peter was mentioning the parallax effect.
Yeah.
So this is a very quick example I whipped together, and basically, it's just you have an image here. Basically, I cut this out in Photoshop. There's some text behind there, and when you do go ahead and auto animate in XD, it recognizes the differences between the two artboards, and it just does this little parallax effect. And you can see the background is slowly getting a little bit smaller, and the mountains are getting a lot smaller. So there's a little bit of a difference, and then you can combine that with things like image galleries and just
Yeah. And I mean, like, really, you look at this and you kind of wouldn't know that you were not on a live website.
Right.
That this wasn't done in After Effects.
Yep.
And that's what blows me away about this is, I mean, you've now got this robust design tool that can prototype things this well with this level of animation.
Yep.
And I mean, we haven't even gotten in yet. We'll maybe do some of this tomorrow, but the auto-responsive features, especially when you design for, say, iPhone 4 screens at 320, and then you need to convert it to the screens that are at 375. All of this is just super, super helpful. And I mean, if that is saving you, clicks here and there, that adds up to hours over the duration of projects.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and responsive resize, someone was talking about that earlier in the chat. And just like this is probably designed for either for the web or for an iPad and landscape. And if you want to really convert this into any other screen, you just basically just turn on responsive resize over to the right, and then you just move it, right? And you have to give XD a little bit of help. You notice that the home indicator is kind of moving on its own. So if you just hop into your layers, grab that layer, your text layer,
group it.
and then you just group it together.
Yeah.
If I can find that, where is it? There it is, link indicator. I'm just gonna move it with the links. And now when I resize one more time, they all kind of move together.
But I mean, when you think about this, I know they said at max, the goal is to get you to 80%.
Yeah. That's 100%.
Even if it got you, yeah, but like, even if it's smaller than that, think about how many elements on the screen that you would have to group or individually move over.
Yep.
And especially when you're designing products that are, you know, maybe 50, 100, 300 screens, that is so much time for such like tedious tasks.
Yep.
And this just helps simplify that so much.
Cool stuff.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So you want to, what do you have planned for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, we'll continue building out a couple more screens here. So we'll get into the shops and favorites area.
Nice.
You know, actually, we've got a little bit more to build
we have a little bit of time.
Or not necessarily today, if maybe if we need more time, but we're on a recipe screen. Like, we actually have to put what the recipe is and whatnot.
Right.
And I think I've got that actually. And so we'll build out what some of those screens look like, but what I have here is this screen. Let me just drop it in up top.
When will Adobe XD bring long press action in prototyping? So there's a lot of features like that, long press, hover, that sort of thing that are definitely being, there's a lot of features in the works. And again, if you go to adobeXD.uservoice.com, you can upvote all the features that you really want to see in XD. And a lot of the prioritization for the roadmap comes directly from user voice. So there's a lot in the works. I wish I can talk about everything in the works, but things are coming.
Things are coming.
Things are coming.
But yeah, so one of the things that we'll work on tomorrow is, as you get into this screen, that we would want to have down here the ability to navigate between the overview of what this recipe is,
right,
the actual ingredients,
the
equipment that you need. Because for this, I think, maybe not this one, I think she links to like an Etsy or Amazon page that you can go purchase that. And I'm sure she's, you know, a little affiliate link or whatnot, directions so that you can check out what it is. And what I'm picturing for this is, rather than a long scroll page where it just anchor links you, I want it to actually go to like a side swipe and change to a different section. And then if you tap back, it will take you to where you were. So that way you can kind of quick switch between some things.
Yep.
I feel like when we bake or cook, that's something that we do often, and having like an actual checklist for your ingredients where I can check mark, I've got these things, I could take it to the store with me and save that here within the app. I think that would be really cool.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing that. And what else? We've got favorites. So I'm thinking things like, I want to, almost like Pinterest, create like a board.
Yeah.
And say cakes, cupcakes, favorite vlogs, things of that nature. And then shop will have a link to all the things out there and galleries, and we'll prototype out some cool stuff. And if we finish early, we'll do a whole new app on day 3.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have about 5, maybe 7 minutes left. You want to finish up and polish this up?
Away. Yeah. So let's
Gotta love those unicorns.
Let's do the heart thing. I think that
Go
one
for it.
will be doable. I'm gonna start it on this one because I think I need to redo these animations for tomorrow. So I'm just gonna pull those down. And
GusBot is live soon. Indeed.
yes. Okay, so I want to come over here, and this is my second screen. And help me out, because I was gonna rewatch your video, because I watched it at like midnight last night. I bring it in a little. Do I shrink the size?
If you want an animation,
yeah,
you can just go straight to a fill, or you can do an extra artboard, and you can adjust the actual size of it, so you can make it a little bit smaller, and then it, or you can make it.
So let's bring
maybe
it in.
make it larger in the second one, and then what you can do is when you're linking from the first artboard, you can essentially use a wind up easing option, which will actually do the opposite effect. So it'll shrink down a little bit first, and then it'll go large, and then it'll ease back into place.
Let's do it. All right, so we've got a little smaller. Let's go a little bigger.
I think you can cut out that second artboard completely.
Oh, really?
Like this one here, you can cut that out.
But to go smaller?
Oh, because it'll do it
wind up.
automatically with the wind up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do I need the larger one too, or?
Yeah, you'll need the larger one.
Okay. So let's do that. Bring that in. Okay. So we're gonna come here to prototype. Pull it over to the screen, and we want tap, auto animate.
Yep.
And whoops.
And that one's going to be wind up.
Wind up. Okay. And then any recommendation on the duration?
Probably 0.2, maybe even 0.1, but start with 0.2.
Okay.
Nice and quick.
All right. So we've got that. That will take us here, and then this one.
Yeah, and Jason says he would love to see the micro interactions to less artboards, and that's definitely something the team is looking into.
And then is
Chris says it's coming. I know nothing, Chris.
How do we get the time one? Because right?
Yeah, so if you have to have the whole artboard selected for time to
that's
appear.
right. Okay. And then let's do this to this. Trigger time. There we go. And another 0.2.
Sure.
Okay.
Why not? And I think for that one, the easing, probably ease out maybe,
Ease
just so it
out.
kind of settles into place.
I like it. And then time delay.
0 seconds. You want to
0
jump
seconds.
right into it.
All right, let's check it out.
Go for it.
So let's hit play. I didn't make it big enough. I saw it move. So let's come here. Let's go. Maybe something like that. Go back to this.
Aha.
Let's do.
Hooray for unicorns. Indeed, Greg.
Was it from the DreamWorks movie Minions, the little unicorn scene where she's like, I love unicorns.
I love minions. They're so annoying, but so cute. Look at
Sweet.
that. That was
So
cool.
I mean, it's again just adding those little micro interactions, and I feel like for those of you that mock stuff up in After Effects or Principle, you'll notice how much easier it is to get designs like approved or signed off on because they see what it can be, they see the whole
Right.
vision of it, and it's really cool. So Chris is saying, let's try Snap. Let's just see what that looks like.
Snap or bounce, Chris says. Bounce is very finicky. Sometimes it works, it looks nice. Sometimes it's a little bit too exaggerated.
Yeah, but I liked that Snap actually looks pretty good. So let's do tap, auto animate, snap, play, and now, sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just so cool watching. Oh, I would need to time that back to this board and then back again, actually, to do that.
That may not work.
Okay.
So at the moment, you can't have multiple handles coming from the same source.
Gotcha.
And timed, you can only have a whole artboard selected.
Okay.
So you would probably just have to go straight back.
Gotcha.
Which is fine, because you don't need any fancy animations if you're unliking something.
Right. But yeah, I mean, again, this to me is just kind of mind-blowing in terms of what we can do with this. And yeah, so, I mean, we got a couple minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Let's get to the next page done. I think we can do that.
In 2 minutes?
No, we're not going to do that in 2 minutes.
Make it count.
We're not that quick, but we got 1 minute. Do you
1
guys have
minute.
any questions? We'll try to answer anything here at the end. We can zoom in. Let's zoom in so you guys can see this. And let us know if you guys have questions.
Too excited for lunch? Our stomachs have been growling this
Yes.
entire time.
Yeah, I don't know if that got picked up on the. I had a big
might have.
burrito this morning.
We're gonna enjoy lunch. We have Gus Bott and Evan coming up very shortly in just a few minutes, and we'll be back tomorrow morning at 9. I'll also be back at 1 o'clock with Michael, and for more fun designing.
Yeah.
Cool. This has been fun. So thanks everyone for sticking around, chatting, giving suggestions and questions.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll see you all tomorrow.
Awesome. Yeah, and artboard size stuff, Chris, I'll make a little freebie overnight and give you guys some of my basic artboard setup. So we'll
Yeah.
come back with that.
Make sure to
tomorrow.
follow this guy on Twitter and Dribble and Behance and all the places.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, thanks guys.
See ya.